Hello everyone, my name is PaperFree Chris, and this video is on the importance of experimentation. Now you might be wondering, Chris, what do you specifically mean by experimentation? Well, first thing you need to know is all about the small YouTuber community, and if you don't know about that, I'll fill you in nice and quick here. The small YouTuber community is exactly what you think it is. It's a group of YouTubers who are under a certain threshold of subscribers, or perhaps are so far under that they are not making any money off their videos, etc, etc. And all of these people have pulled together basically in order to watch each other's videos, support each other, etc, etc. In this community of small YouTubers, there are lots of people who are just content to make videos and to have people see them. You know, there are people on here that are parents or work other jobs or whatever, and just enjoy doing it, and just enjoy creating content. And to those people, this video is not necessarily about you. But this is for the people who want to grow and potentially want to tackle YouTube as not only a hobby, but potentially even a career and a way to make a living and continue to create and actually make money for the work that they put into these videos. This video is for the people that are vying for your time, you know. It's funny. When you're part of the small YouTuber community, you start to get a sense of just how many people there are out there and just how capable lots of people are. There are so many content creators out there, good and bad, who are looking to become the next big thing or looking to gain audience and make a living off of this. And this is just my point of view as to what I think happens a lot to some of the more advanced creators in this small YouTuber community. How does this look? That's cool. You see, when you're a large YouTuber, when you have 1 million subscribers, to some people that might not be that much. You know, the big YouTubers nowadays, you know, PewDiePie obviously has like 60 million, but if you're a large YouTuber, chances are you're into the tens of millions or 20s of millions. So it's a little bit interesting when you look at what success is and what, you know, being a large, small YouTuber, if that makes sense, is comparatively. So what happens is when you're a YouTuber and you get something like 1,000 subscribers, comparatively to a lot of the people you've likely gone to know in the small YouTuber community, that's a lot of subscribers. And that means you must be doing something correct, right? You know, you've gained this audience, you know, you've just started down the path of being able to make money off of YouTube. You know, you're making it, you know, you're getting there slowly but surely. And just an observation I have had from being a part of this community is that I think that once you get over 1,000 subscribers, it actually becomes very difficult to make content that I'm interested in. And that's because I think a lot of the creators understand that, wow, comparatively to a lot of people out there, I am successful. You know, I've started making money for what I'm doing here on this platform. And you know, that must mean that whatever formula I have is working. So obviously when you're a large YouTuber with millions upon millions of different subscribers, the formula you have has been successful. You know, there's no reason for you to switch up the formula you have. Clearly you've found success. But again, when you're a small YouTuber, you're still growing and you still have lots of room to grow up. And just because something worked for you early on in your YouTubing career does not necessarily mean that will continue to work on. That's nice and blue. I've watched a lot of these people, and I consider myself someone who is relatively creative. You know, I've done a decent amount. I've done this, that, and the other thing. I've been around. That 500 to 1,500 range is probably some of the most boring YouTube I watch. And I want to explain why a little bit. And I think you can already try to guess what I'm getting for here, but I want to just explain it anyways because it's a video and I can do that. You get your first 100 subscribers, fantastic. You get your second 100 subscribers, fantastic. And right around you reach that 500 subscriber mark, people begin to become very comfortable with what they're doing, which is good, and I applaud people for doing that. You know, from my 0 subscriber count to 100, I grew a lot as an entertainer as well. But right around then, some of the YouTubers also begin to lose a lot of the magic that their channel originally had when they were first starting out. They were nervous, they were trying things out, they were experimenting and trying to find their spot on YouTube. You know, there's hundreds of beauty bloggers out there. There's hundreds of vloggers. There's hundreds of family channels. There's hundreds of gamers out there. And when, of course, you're so small and, trying to find attention and trying to get people to tune into your channel, you're willing to try a decent amount in order to get people to come in. And I've had the absolute pleasure of being able to watch some creators start from very little and grow their channels into something that is much bigger and much more professional. You build relationships, you watch people grow. It becomes a bit of a, you get friendships in these small channels, and it is exciting to watch people become successful and to realize themselves and what their potential is on this platform. So a lot of the charm of watching someone advance themselves and grow as a creator and lose that awkward shell that everyone has when they first start begins to fade away. And what happens is I think people begin to get a little bit routine. They stop pushing themselves quite as hard as they probably should. I'm not saying that they don't push themselves. I'm more saying that it becomes very familiar. These channels, you know exactly what to expect from them, how they're gonna act, how they're gonna behave, etc., etc. Whoa. And I don't necessarily think it's the fault of the creator a lot of the time. I think it's the fault of the culture around us. When you're hitting a certain threshold, like a certain view count or stuff like that, of course you don't want to push the boundary too hard because you're getting an audience, you're building there. What you're doing works, and you don't want to take a hit on your channel or do anything that's too outside of your audience's comfort zone in order to push people away or get people away from your channel. But again, this is a bit of an issue, I would say. Now, before I go any further, say what you want about my channel and the content I put out there. The least I can tell you is that I do things different. I don't do the same thing over and over again. I don't constantly create the same kind of content. I am constantly experimenting because I am still very much in that small YouTuber time or position where I need to build an audience and I need to get people to watch me. And I try lots of different things in order to reach an audience. Some things are successful. My videos like this, where I talk to the camera and just discuss a topic, usually do quite well. Sometimes the skits, which I love to do, don't do quite as well. The last two videos I put out here, for example, underperformed compared to a lot of my other videos. And this is where I reached the point of this video, which again, was abundantly clear from the beginning, but I want to reiterate it. You need to experiment more. You need to take risks more. Everyone does. It doesn't matter if you have 100 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers. People are going to stick around for your content, but you're never truly going to break through a threshold or really advance yourself if all the content you put out there is same old, same old. I know when you're on an uphill tick and you put out a video that's a little bit different and it just doesn't get the same reception that you're used to, it can be really disheartening and it can make you not excited about what you're doing on this platform and the video you just produced. But at the same time, it also becomes abundantly obvious to a lot of people when you are producing content that you don't necessarily feel very strongly about, but content works. And of course, not every experiment you ever do is going to work out. There are lots of experiments that are not going to work out or that your audience just doesn't respond to. And of course, as any good creator knows, you create the content for the audience. You do it for yourself as well, and you have fun doing it, and you gotta make sure you're having fun doing it or else we're gonna tell and we're not gonna watch you. But it is first and foremost for the audience and for what your fans and your viewers want and expect out of a creator like yourself. But there are lots of channels I used to follow on YouTube, lots of small creators that I watched everything that they put out there because it was interesting at the time. And clearly they're having a good time doing it. And clearly, this is something I've never really seen before. But after a while, I have seen it. And while the argument could come up, well, someone who just tunes in could see it, that's great. But eventually they will have seen it too. At least personally, I just stopped caring. I see you're not reinventing yourself. I see you're producing the same old. And I look somewhere else for creativity. I look at other YouTubers. Hell, this has happened before to larger YouTubers as well, where after a while, I just don't care. And I think you're producing the same stuff over and over again. I lose interest and I look for that creative spark elsewhere. where I know I'm gonna be entertained, and not only entertained by something I like, but something I don't know I like. I'm not specifically saying you have to drop everything you're doing and do something completely different. I'm not saying that if you're a family vlogger, you gotta do comedy sketches. I'm not saying if you're a comedy sketchers, you gotta produce 2 kids and make a family channel. I'm not saying that. There's lots of creative things you can do within every genre of YouTube video, from gaming to music to whatever. Now you might say to me, well, Chris, if you want someone to do the best that they possibly can, why don't I stick to the thing I know I'm good at? And to that I would answer, because you don't know what else you're good at. You have no idea what else you're good at. You may think you're good at talking in front of a camera about small YouTuber problems or the news, or you might think you're good at playing a video game, but there's so much more you don't know you're good at because you haven't tried it. Because you get comfortable with the idea of, I'm only good at this one thing, and thus I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of my existence. And again, I'd just like to reiterate, I'm not saying that if you enjoy making gaming videos, to drop what you're doing and make something else, because how are you going to be discovered if you only make gaming videos? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you just need to do that differently. You need to make a gaming video that is different from all the other gaming videos people make. And I can tell you, there are a lot of fucking Let's Plays out there that are complete Let's Plays of a game. There are lots of commentaries, there are lots of funny moments. So you gotta experiment with things. You gotta put something new out there. You have to be pushing the boundaries of what content is expected and capable of being made on YouTube. Because you can fill a gap that many people might not even know that they have. And that is how you get bigger. By not doing what you're comfortable doing, but by doing what you are uncomfortable doing. Because you might find that the uncomfortable things are what people will latch onto. But people don't like taking risks because risks can lead to failure. Now, as I've stated in a previous video, taking risks and failing is really necessary for success in life, because if you haven't failed a few times, have you really worked for the success you've had? Have you really tried everything you can possibly try in order to get yourself into the best place possible and into the most comfortable place possible? If you don't have a failure or two, did you really earn the success you had? Trying things out may lead to different successes as well. You might find you are successful in a completely different way from trying out a few videos, failing at 9 of them, but just nailing that one video that really sets you apart from the rest. So what I would say to every YouTuber out there, both big and small, is do not become comfortable with what you're doing, because you can and should do more. Again, if you want to produce your gardening videos for your 100 or so people, and you don't really view YouTube as a career option, you just want to do it for fun, then more power to you. You have fun doing what you're doing. YouTube doesn't have to be as serious as a lot of people make it out to be. It can just be a place for you to enjoy doing something and to film it and to get some feedback and get to know some people. That is totally fine. But if you are a YouTuber who wants to grow their channel and potentially continue to do YouTube as a way to make money and continue to make content that is of value, then you need to do things differently. You need to take chances. You need to make mistakes. You need to get messy, to quote a certain magical school bus teacher. Because anything you are doing, someone has done before. So you need to do something radically different in order to set yourself apart from the rest. You need to think outside the box. You need to experiment. That stupid idea that you don't think will work as a video, try to make it work as a video. It is worth the try, especially at this stage of the game when you are someone who's small and the consequences of creating something stupid are very small. And no matter what, do not get into a routine. Make sure everything you are doing is as fresh as you can possibly make it. Go outside your comfort zone and make sure you are having fun creating the content that you are creating. Because if you are not having fun, your audience is not going to have fun. And your audience is not going to like it, and your audience is not going to stick around. That's harsh. Even I'm realizing that as I say it. But that's the truth. My name is PaperFree Chris, and I hope to see some new, exciting, and creative work coming from the YouTubers that I know and love. I know you guys can do it. It's getting stale. I hate to admit it, and that's just some constructive criticism for you. You need to change things up a bit. Again, it doesn't have to be radically different. You just need to think outside the box, push the boundaries, and make something unique. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you click subscribe down below, and I'll put a video here if you want to click it. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.